and he shall send them a man who shall save them. He shall judge and save them. And the Lord shall be known to the Egyptians, and the Egyptians shall know the Lord in that day. And they shall offer sacrifices, shall bow vows to the Lord. Alright, we continue in Isaiah from ecmarch.com. ecmarch.com. So we're on chapter 19, verse 21. Isaiah chapter 19, verse 21. And the Lord shall be known to the Egyptians, and the Egyptians shall know the Lord in that day. And they shall offer sacrifices, and shall vow vows to the Lord, and pay them. And the Lord shall smite the Egyptians with the stroke, and shall completely heal them. And they shall return to the Lord, and he shall hear them, and thoroughly heal them. In that day there shall be a way from Egypt to the Assyrians, and the Assyrians shall enter into Egypt, and the Egyptians shall go to the Assyrians, and the Egyptians shall serve the Assyrians. In that day shall Israel be third with the Egyptians, and the Assyrians blessed in the land, and the Assyrians blessed in the land which the Lord of hosts has blessed, saying, Blessed be my people that is in Egypt, and that is among the Assyrians, and Israel mine inheritance. So blessed be Israel. In the year when Tanathan came to Azotus, when he was sent by Arna, king of the Assyrians, and warred against Azotus, and took it. Then the Lord spoke of Esaias, the son of Amos, saying, Go and take the sackcloth off thy loins, and loose thy sandals from off thy feet, and do thus going naked and barefoot. And the Lord said, As my servant Isaiah has walked naked and barefoot 3 years, they shall be 3 years for signs and wonders to the Egyptians and Ethiopians. For thus shall the king of the Assyrians lead the captivity of Egypt and the Ethiopians. Young men only. Check this out. And the Lord said, As my servant Esaias has walked naked and barefoot 3 years, there shall be 3 years for signs and wonders to the Egyptians and Ethiopians. For thus shall the king of the Assyrians lead the captivity of Egypt and the Ethiopians. So, supposedly saying the Syrians will lead the Egyptians and Ethiopians into captivity. Let me read this. For thus shall the king of the Assyrians lead the captivity of Egypt and the Ethiopians, young men and old, naked and barefoot, having the shame of Egypt exposed, and the Egyptians being defeated shall be ashamed of the Ethiopians in whom they had trusted, for they were their glory. And they that dwell in the islands shall say in that day, Behold, we trusted to flee to them for help, who could not save themselves from the king of the Assyrians, and how shall we be saved? Oh, so did the Ethiopians set the Egyptians up? And did the people from the islands witness it all? And was perplexed by it? This is what we have to find out. We know the Assyrians took Israel from Tartary to Africa. We know they took us to America, and we know they probably took us from America to Europe, to Africa, and to these other areas. So, is it? And we understand that Ethiopia and Egypt, these places weren't always in Africa. They had migrated in, some forced, some not forced. Is this talking about one of those times? Who knows? As though the visions of the desert. Chapter 21. As though a whirlwind should pass through the desert, coming from a desert, even from such a land, so a fearful and a grievous vision was declared to me. He that is treacherous deals treacherously. The transgressor transgresses. The Elamites are upon me, and the ambassador of the Persians come against me. Now will I groan and comfort myself. Therefore are my loins filled with feebleness, and pangs have seized me as a travailing woman. I dealt wrongfully that I might not hear. I hasted that I might not see. My heart wanders, and transgressions overwhelms me. My soul is occupied with fear. Prepare the table, eat, drink, arise, ye princes, and prepare your shields. For thus saith the Lord to me, go and station a watchman for thyself, and declare whatever thou shalt see. And I saw 2 mounted horsemen, and a rider on an ass, and a rider on a camel. Hearken with great attention, and call thou Urias to the watchtower. The Lord has spoken. I stood continually during the day, and I stood in the camp all the night. And behold, he comes riding in a chariot and a pair. And he answered and said, Babylon is fallen, and all her images and her idols have been crushed to the ground. Hear ye that are left, and ye that are in pain. Hear what things I have heard of the Lord of hosts, which the God of Israel has declared to us. The vision of Udah. Call to me out of Seir. Guard ye the bulwarks. I watch in the morning and the night. If thou wouldest inquire, and dwell by me. Thou mayest lodge in the forest in the evening, or in the way of Dedan. Ye that dwell in the country of Theman, bring water to me, him that is thirsty. Meet the fugitives with bread. Because of the multitude of the slain, and because of the multitude of them that lose their way, and because of the multitude of swords, and because of the multitude of bent bows, and because of the multitude of them that have fallen in war. For thus saith the Lord to me, yet a year, as a year of an hireling, and the glory of the sons of Kedar shall fail, and the remnant of the strong bows of the sons of Kedar shall be small, for the Lord God of Israel has spoken it. The word of the valley of Sion. Chapter 22. What has happened to thee, that now ye are all gone up to the house steps which help you not? The city is filled with shouting men. Thy slain are not slain with swords, nor are they dead, those who have died in battle. All their princes have fled, and the captives are tightly bound. And the mighty men in thee have fled far away. Therefore I said, let me alone. I will weep bitterly. Labor not to comfort me for the branch of the daughter of my people. For it is a day of trouble, and of destruction, and of treading down. And there is perplexity sent from the Lord of hosts. They wander in the valley of Sion. They wander from the least to the greatest on the mountain. And the Elamites took their quivers, and there were men mounted on horses, and there was a gathering for battle. And it shall be that thy choice valley shall be filled with chariots, and horsemen shall block up thy gates, and they shall uncover the gates of Udah. And they shall look in that day on the choice houses of the city, and they shall uncover the secret places of the houses of the citadel of David. And they saw that there were many, and that one had turned the water of the old pool in the city, and that they had pulled down the houses of Jerusalem to fortify the wall of the city. And ye procure to yourselves water between the two walls, within the ancient pool. But ye look not within the ancient, but you look not to him that made it from the beginning, and regarded not to him that created it. You heard that? And ye procure to yourselves water between the two walls, within the ancient pool. But ye look not to him that made it from the beginning, and regarded not to him that created it. Isn't that what we do today? We love the Word of God. We love the knowledge of the Bible. We don't look to the Creator. We don't look to who He created it. We look to Jesus Christ, or Buddha, or Vishnu, or any one of these things. Give praise to the Creator. He who created it. And the Lord of hosts called in that day for weeping and lamentation and baldness and for girding with sackcloth. But they engaged in joy and gladness, slaying calves and killing sheep, so as to eat flesh and drink wine, saying, let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we die. And these things are revealed in the ears of the Lord of hosts. For this sin shall not be forgiven you until ye die. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, go into the chamber to Samnas, the treasurer, and say to him, why art thou here? And what hast thou to do here? That thou hast here honed thyself a sepulchre, and madest thyself a sepulchre on high, and hast graven for thyself a dwelling in the rock. Behold now, the Lord of hosts cast forth, and will utterly destroy such a man, and will take away the robe and thy glorious crown, and will cast thee into a great and unmeasured land, and there thou shalt die, and he will bring thy fair chariot to shame, and the house of thy prince to be trodden down, and thou shalt be removed from thy stewardship, from thy place. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will call my servant Eliakim, the son of Chelses, and I will put on him thy robe, and I will grant him thy crown of power, and I will give thy stewardship into his hands, and he shall be as a father to them that dwell in Jerusalem, and to them that dwell in Judah. And I will give him the glory of David, and he shall rule, and there shall be none to speak against him. And I will give him the key of the house of David upon his shoulder, and he shall put open, and there shall be none to shut, and he shall shut, and there shall be none to open. And I will make him a ruler in a sure place, and he shall be for a glorious throne of his father's house. And everyone that is glorious in the house of his father shall trust in him, from the least to the greatest. And they shall depend upon him in that day. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the man that is fastened in the sure place shall be removed and be taken away, and shall fall, and the glory that is upon him shall be utterly destroyed. From the Lord has spoken. The word concerning Tyre. How ye ships of Carthage, for she is perished, and men no longer arrive from the land of Kittians. She is led captive. To all the... Sorry guys, this is chapter 23. To whom are the dwellers in the land become like the merchants of Phoenice, passing over the sea in great waters, a generation of merchants, as when the harvest is gathered in, so are these traitors with the nations. Be ashamed, O Sidon. The sea has said, Ye, the strength of the sea has said, I have not travailed, nor brought forth, nor have I brought up young men, nor reared virgins. Moreover, when it shall be heard in Egypt, sorrow shall seize them for Tyre. Depart, ye Carthage, howl ye that dwell in the land. Was not this your pride from the beginning, before she was given up? Who has devised this counsel against Tyre? Is she inferior, or has she no strength? Her merchants were the glorious princes of the earth. The Lord of hosts has purposed to bring down on the pride of the glorious ones, and to disgrace every glorious thing on earth. To thy land, for ships no more come out of Carthage, and thy hand prevails no more by sea, which troubled kings. The Lord of hosts has given a command concerning China, to destroy the strength thereof. And men shall say, Ye shall no longer at all continue to incite and injure the daughters of Sidon. And if thou depart to the Scythians, neither there shalt thou have rest. And if thou depart to the land of the Chaldeans, this also is laid waste by the Assyrian, for her wall is fallen. How ye ships of Carthage, for your stronghold is destroyed. And it shall come to pass in that day that Tyre shall be left 70 years, as the time of a king, and as the time of a man. And it shall come to pass after 70 years that Tyre shall be as the song of a harlot. Take a harp, go about, O city, thou harlot, that has been forgotten. Play well on the harp, sing many songs, that thou mayest be remembered. And it shall come to pass after the 70 years that God will visit Tyre, and she shall be again restored to her primitive state, and she shall be a mark for all the kingdoms of the world in the face of the earth. And her trade and her gain shall be holiness to the Lord. It shall not be gathered for them, but for those that dwell before the Lord, even all her trade, to eat and drink and be filled, and for a covering waste to the world, and will make it desolate, and will lay bare the surface of it, and scatter them that dwell therein. And the people shall be as a priest, and the servant as the Lord. And the people shall be as the priest, and the servant as the Lord, and the maid as the mistress. The buyer shall be as the seller, the lender as the borrower, and the debtor as his creditor. The earth shall be completely laid waste, and the earth shall be utterly spoiled. For the mouth of the Lord has spoken these things. The earth mourns, and the world is ruined. The lofty ones of the earth are mourning, and she has sinned by reasons of her inhabitants, because they have transgressed the law, and changed the ordinances, even the everlasting covenant. Therefore a curse shall consume the earth, because the inhabitants thereof have sinned. Therefore the dwellers in the earth shall be poor, few men shall be left. The wine shall mourn, and the vine shall mourn. All the merry-hearted shall sigh.